You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show.
Yes, lots going on tonight. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another after show for Pretty Little Liars. We are in season 3, episode 6, Remains of the A. My name is Kelly, and I am joined by two lovely ladies tonight.
Hi, so happy to be back with you. I'm Stephanie Wenger, and so exciting to be here.
Can't wait to talk some PLL at Whitney Lane.
It's lots of exciting stuff. Well, you know, last week we had Jenna and Lucas that stopped by. So fun. And we didn't see them at all in this episode tonight.
That's so funny. So they came to the perfect episode.
They sure did. The last episode was all about them, so it was great. But tonight, you know, let's talk about Ezra and this drawer full of cash.
So shocking.
Yes.
Right? They seemed so happy dancing together, and then it got a little awkward. She found that cash, and she's thinking, what about that $50,000 that Jason offered?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to question it.
Exactly, and he's kind of been struggling with money, and we've seen that, and him not want to, like, do anything, and then to have this drawer of cash, I think any girlfriend would be super concerned.
Just wads of $100 bill, you know, rolls of hundreds. I mean, what's going on there? So to have it in his sock drawer,
right? Of
you
all
know,
places,
he's got like 4 pairs of socks in this plastic bag full of money.
What was she even looking for when she opened it? You know, they were talking about, he was like, we're gonna have to cut back on our ramen. We're like, we have got one thing of ramen noodles left, and then she opens the drawer, and out comes the money. And where he got it, he said, was from selling a car
that his grandfather left him. That he wanted to restore. So, but still, it would be, I would think that he, you know, $50,000 for an old Jag, maybe that's not restored. Well, I mean, granted, we don't know how much money was in there.
We don't.
So
we're
just assuming that it was about that much. So, I mean, a bunch of wads of hundreds. It's more than a few $1,000s, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. The car thing, it definitely raised a question mark, and I quickly was on my Twitter, and fans seem to have the same question. Like we were all talking about that. The car doesn't seem like the right answer. He definitely, and he was looking back.
There you go.
That's the thing. Well, because I think before she opened the sock drawer, she was looking for something because she looked under the bed. She was looking around, but we don't know exactly what she was looking for either. But what would prompt her to open his sock drawer? And then she doesn't say either.
No, she doesn't. Yeah, and it was very interesting to look back. That's what got me, because she seemed, okay, good. I can breathe a breath of fresh air because he said it was from something else. So she's leaning on his shoulder, and he's staring back at this
with this
sock
like
drawer.
Scare, you know, kind of, you know,
that
nervous.
There's something else in there. That's what makes you wonder.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time we've seen Ezra lie to Aria on the show. I was thinking back over the episodes, and I don't feel like we've seen him. He's always been really truthful to her. Right. And if he's lying, this is definitely the first time.
Big step in their relationship
here. Well, and also, you know, it makes you kind of wonder, it would be the perfect thing the perfect twist in all of this if Ezra was involved. Because, you know, Aria confides little things in him, and he knows a little bit about what they know as far as what's going on. So
he definitely does.
You know, he has that good puppy dog face that makes you think that he's nothing, you know, that he's not dangerous.
Yeah, he seems
So-
a little. He steps away from it, but he's still a little interested. He seems interested in what Aria is going through, what's she
Right.
talking about. But then at the same time, you kind of wonder: is he trying to dig deeper for some reason?
Yeah.
We don't know. All these questions now with Ezra.
But then again, we never see him going anywhere. So
it's true. He's just in his
watching
pajamas,
old westerns.
Oh, it's gotta be
So-
tough losing your job and then trying to figure that out. You know.
Yeah. So I don't know. So that'll be interesting to see if she truly is going to accept, his reasoning for that, or
Exactly.
if she's going to kind of investigate a little bit more. Because I mean, she didn't tell any of the girls that she found that. Because when Spencer asked her, what's wrong with you? You're acting like a pod person.
Yeah.
And Spencer would be like the worst one to tell, because all of a sudden she's researching in the library, like making keys, and gonna be hiding under his bed and find out where this money came from.
That is Spencer for sure. You gotta watch out for that girl. She's all in that stuff. So
Yeah, and I think Spencer even said, like, when she was like, oh, if a person had all this money laying around, she was like, they're like a killer or a criminal. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of some foreshadowing.
Absolutely. So I think it would be, I almost kind of, a part of me kind of wants to see that happen. He can't just be 100%
no.
this, he's like, aside from having the girlfriend in like his last season or the season, or whatever that he kind of had going on, but he's pretty much been, the model boyfriend.
the one that everyone loves.
Yes.
So there's got to be something. They always evolve these characters throughout the show. So we'll see what Ezra has to offer.
I think Brandon last week mentioned that his character, it's like peeling back, and there's layers to every character, and so I feel like we're just getting to see the layers of Ezra, and I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. I want to see his character more. I want to see kind of what's, what he's going through a lot. He said it tonight. It's, he's was a professor. He was this, and now he's not.
Right.
He's, basically sitting at home trying to find a job with a drawer full of money.
Yeah.
So I wish I had a drawer full of money.
It would be. It seems easier. It seems like he'd use that to buy some ramen noodles, but he's not even using it.
I know. He's like, we need to pool our resources. Well, if I had a drawer full of money, I would do tons of online shopping. I already do a lot of
Exactly.
online shopping, and I don't have a drawer full of money.
Yeah. You got
But
that.
one of the greatest things that we have here at AfterBuzz is you can do all of your online shopping on Amazon.com straight from the AfterBuzz TV website. So if you go to our site and click on the Amazon banner, it's one extra click, and it helps us out, and it doesn't cost you anything. And you can do all of your online shopping. I just recently spent a few $100s on some house stuff for me, and it's so nice.
It is.
Not having to go to the store
And
and,
it
deal with
helps
the
us
crowds.
out, and that's really nice.
Yeah, we get to we get a little kickback, and we can continue to do these wonderful shows that we do. And, so if you like to shop, help us out. It's not, one extra click and that's it.
Yeah, just take that money out of your sock drawer and go shop on Amazon.
I know. And then we have the anklet.
Oh, what a turn of events.
I know.
Everywhere they go, they sneak around and they end up finding something.
So we've got, so in the last episode, they pull it was the last episode, right? They pull it. Everything's such a web of everything intertwining. I get everything mixed
know.
up.
Yeah, and we're right in the middle of the season, and it's all
Yeah.
the stuff all building together. And
So there's a note that Spencer finds in Garrett's mom's medical bracelet.
Of all places.
Smart place to hide that. How she even saw that, I don't know.
I know.
But and it said Amber Rose has the proof.
Yes.
So this most of this episode she's trying to figure out. She thinks who this Amber Rose is, because we think it's
April Rose,
April.
yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
you
April
got it.
Rose. Yes, Amber Rose, April
Moving
Rose,
to
whatever.
celebrity, other people.
Yes, I'm like,
Not on
I'm
Pretty Little
making up
Liars.
names now. No, yes, you're right. So we're thinking this is a person, so that's or a
Everyone
place.
assumes, right, that it's some person, some girl maybe has something to do with Garrett because it's in Garrett's mom's hospital band.
Right. So then she decides that she needs to. The only person that can help her is Jason.
For some reason.
Well, because it goes back to their little NAT club when they
Right.
used to film, these girls and boys.
Which he said he didn't really have a part of.
It was just his idea.
Garrett and Ian would go and actually do that.
Yeah.
So he thought maybe April Rose is one of these girls.
Right. That he might have met and just doesn't remember,
Mm-hmm.
since most of high school for him was a blur and he was, just a little
Exactly.
troublemaker. So.
So Jason and Spencer, they're hanging out. He's the one that comes and finds out that April Rose is actually just an antique store.
Now, do you think, how would he have found that out?
That's what I question. That's exactly my question. I don't know, because she's searching. She said all night, all day that she's been living April Rose. Who's April Rose?
Even like
And
April Rose
finds
PA, like all this, and he finds that it's an antique store. So
Gotta
how,
wonder.
all of a sudden he pulls this ad, and in the last episode he's the one that wrote out the $50,000 check to cash. So it just, I don't know. There's a little something more, obviously, I think, to that character and what he knows, and because how did he know about the evidence with Garrett and that it was going to get thrown out? Like, how is he?
He seems one step ahead of the girls for sure, and because he's able to have a few more puzzle pieces, and you kind of slowly learn these facts.
Yeah, so
I'm intrigued that Spencer trusts him at this point as well, because she's always very skeptical of everyone. But
Well,
to
it's her
go
brother.
with him, well, now that she's found out, but before it's like
Yeah.
Jason, he's got something with this.
Yeah.
Finds out it's her brother of all things, and now they're like in this together with the dad stepping in and saying, no, you shouldn't be like bringing Spencer in on this.
Well, it's creepy that he was following her.
There's something odd about him altogether, I think.
Well, and also, I think that her parents know a little bit more about what's going on than they want to admit, because I think Melissa does.
Right, and they've
So,
protected Melissa. We know
right.
that from the detective in the past few episodes, or the past season even.
And that's why Spencer's mom, what's her name, Veronica?
Yes.
She took on the case in the first place, was to keep the police from looking at Melissa.
And why she didn't have a baby in the
Right.
first place. So yeah, it's all intertwined in very interesting ways.
So for him to be following her and looking at who she's talking to, and he knows how smart Spencer is.
Exactly.
So he knows that she has, this investigative, talent where she can find these things out. So I think it makes him a little nervous, and so that's why he goes to Jason to try to get him to kind of back off when it's really Spencer that's going to Jason.
Right.
Wanting to get him more involved.
Yeah, there's all that kind of stuff there from the past few seasons that this dad has been involved with. I mean, they found the hockey stick, remember? That was in their yard. So he's trying to protect himself in some way, I think.
Right.
Just because, why is he so involved with following Spencer around? That's a little odd in the first place.
Yeah, because I remember in the last season, people fans of the show seem to think that maybe Spencer's dad was the one that, hurt Allie. Maybe it was an accident, or maybe, he saw something he wasn't supposed to, especially considering, him having an affair with her mom and,
Of all things.
So there could be a little bit more to that story.
Definitely. And so then they find April Rose is an antique store.
And what about the chick behind the counter, this old woman behind the counter?
Beyond creepy. I was like holding it and I was like, it's so creepy.
Why does everything have to be so creepy? It's like the lady in the doll store.
I would be scared I would move out of that place and run for the hills, because that Rosewood is just creepy. Like they're going all over and finding the weirdest people. I don't know.
I have to say that it always feels that way when I watch Pretty Little Liars. I'm like, why does anyone live in this town? And the same goes for Desperate Housewives. Like, I always just was like, move off the lane. Like, what's the problem here, girls? Like,
there's no other place to go besides this place. But this woman with her iPod in, just kind of just kind of bopping to the music. Creepiest thing ever.
It really was.
So strange.
It really was. Then the man sweeps in, and Spencer goes off. So Jason kind of distracted him, and she finds this anklet, which she recognized. All these flashbacks in this episode, really.
Yeah, there was a lot.
So it's opening it up to us finding out a little bit more about what happened here.
it happened that night too. I think we're slowly getting those pieces together of what she knows and who was involved.
Yeah. Because we find out that the anklet was Allie's.
Right.
And it was given to her by someone that was just a friend. Because Spencer flashes back to they were supposed to have, girls' night.
Sleepover, yeah.
The two of them, she's painting her toenails. She has this anklet on, says she'll never take it off. And
then she leaves.
And then she goes out.
Which I can't believe Spencer wasn't like, let me look out this window and find out who this person is.
Yeah, who is your friend?
Maybe that'll come back eventually. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But she goes. So Spencer recognizes this anklet, grabs her scarf, so she doesn't want to taint it if it's evidence, because they're thinking this is evidence to keep Garrett in jail. Because we find out the evidence that they do have is now going to, Spencer's mom is pushing for it to be inadmissible because
She's pushing hard too.
Yeah, because they can't retest it. So they're trying. So that's what I was confused on a little bit. So they're trying to retest it because they're doing a new trial.
They're just trying to make sure that Garrett is still on trial. Because if they lose that evidence, it becomes inadmissible. They can't
Right, but
he's
why were
done
they
for.
trying to retest it in the first place?
I
Is
think
where I
they
got
think
confused.
Garrett has something to do with it. You know?
No, but I thought they tested it once before, and that's what put him in jail, was because it was a positive match for him. So I was just wondering why they were trying to... Are they doing a new trial? Did I just kind of miss that?
I don't think they're doing a new trial.
Or they were
They're
doing a
just
new
trying to-
investigation now
Yes.
that he's got a new attorney? So maybe that's why Spencer's
Yes.
mom was trying... Since
Yeah.
she took the case over, she wanted to get
she
it
wanted-
retested.
And she wanted it to be done, so then
Okay.
somehow it worked out, and it is. But the anklet had blood on it.
Yeah, 2 different types, 2 different blood types.
And Spencer literally freaked out, was crying so hard. It makes you question, did she have, like, why? Why is she so upset over this?
That's what I don't understand. Like, I understand... I mean, she really freaked out
In
about
a weird
this.
way. Like, it would have been different. Like, let me start texting my friend and be like, oh my goodness, like, blood, 2 people's blood on this. Well, it did, not necessarily 2. It said their blood. So we don't know what they mean by that.
Well, yeah, well, and what Spencer's dad said was one of them was Allie's, one of them wasn't.
Right.
But it wasn't Garrett's. And that's when Spencer freaks out. But why does she freak out like that?
See, I thought she was gonna go, and it was gonna be one of those, Pretty Little Liars moments where she gets on her phone and is like
Right.
sending out an emergency text,
Right.
and instead you see her like it was like a death, like
Yeah.
freak out, like emotional, and all of this, and I just couldn't figure it out, and it made me question her involvement.
Well, see, I've always I think I say this like all the
Yes,
time.
me
Like I
too.
always think that she's
I'm
a
on-
little
yeah,
sketchy. Like there's just something weird, and this freak out was a little bit beyond ridiculous. Like I mean, unless there's something, because granted, I came in the middle of season 2, and I've been trying to catch myself up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe there's something that I've missed or I don't remember that would cause her to have this freak out. Because there's so many storylines and everything.
There-
It's kind of
yeah.
hard to keep it
Yeah.
to keep it all together. But why? I mean, she's screaming into a pillow. She's bawling, crying. She's literally having a freak out.
And it makes you question if she had some involvement or she knows someone else that could possibly have blood on this anklet. Like, because
Yeah.
it can be her, it could be someone else. We have no idea, obviously.
What if
but
it's her blood? She
That's
was,
why I
she's the
wonder.
one that found out all of a sudden Allie's missing, and then Emily's missing. She always seems to find what everybody's missing.
And she
Exactly.
seems to have her own set of secrets as
Right.
well.
And she
But-
never goes and gets anyone.
Yeah, she's always just like, oh, I'll keep it. She's very like.
Let it all come to me. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She's kind of the secret keeper, and then she lets the girls know what she thinks is kind of appropriate for them to know, and then keep
Right.
some stuff for herself.
I don't know. I think she's teetering on that fine line of being part of the A-team and not. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see if she
Yeah.
decides to share this information. Of course, it'll come out in the newspapers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what she has to tell these girls, because then she gets the text from A.
Right. That says Garrett is not their killer. So is she talking, like you said, is she talking about
more than one person. Is it
Maya?
Maya?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, is it
I'm
Maya?
still not 100% convinced that Maya is dead. We haven't seen a body.
I know.
Where's
it's
her
very
body?
interesting.
I know you've brought this up a couple times. It's like your conspiracy theory.
where is it? Well, we want to know what you guys think. And, you can go to iTunes and download our podcast for free, along with all the other fabulous after shows that we do here at AfterBuzz. And it's a really good thing because we like to be interactive. You can always call in during the shows, but leaving us comments that we can kind of bring up later is great. Thank you to all the fans that have left us comment and rated us. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
But let us know what you think about Spencer's freak out. I just really don't get it. And please let me know if I missed something and if there's a bigger reason for that, but I just don't see.
Yeah,
what was-
they may think of some other things for us. Our
Yeah,
fans. There
I
we
hope
go.
so. Yeah. So please go and do that for us. And also, Apple has this new podcast app that you can download for free on your iPhone or iPad, and it organizes all of your podcasts. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to do that. So make sure to do that and let us know what you guys think.
Yes.
I don't know.
Intriguing.
I just
Very
don't know.
intriguing.
I don't know.
She's a
there's-
confusing one.
She is. And she ran up the stairs, and that's just not sitting well with me. I just
And her
don't.
dad's kind of just like,
Yeah, he's like left there standing. I was wondering why he didn't run up after her. Maybe that's just
Oh.
like
He's all
that whole
Spencer?
family. Yeah.
yeah, Spencer.
Let's go to school, Spencer, and she runs.
Yeah, and I was just like, wouldn't anyone's parents run up the stairs after her and be like, "Are you okay? What happened? What can we talk about
Yeah.
it?" It just kind of bothered me that he was just standing there. I was like, "Go,
Well,
you chase after her."
He is chasing after her in a car, hiding. So maybe he's, who
Well,
knows?
maybe that's where she gets it from, because
yeah,
both of
fair.
her parents are kind of weird. Well, they're very
Standoffish,
secretive.
yes.
You know, they each feel like they're the only ones that have the right to know anything, and that kind of comes through with Spencer and the rest of the girls.
Yes, I would
you
agree
know.
with you on
So
that.
I don't know. But okay, so we've got this anklet. They turn it in. Jason goes and turns it into the police
Right.
and says that he got an anonymous tip. So how does Spencer's dad know that Spencer's the one that found it?
Yeah, already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how did he know that Spencer was with Jason? Maybe he's following her again.
I
He's
mean,
just
because we didn't see, did we? We didn't see where he would have been following her. But how
No.
does, maybe he just assumes? But how he was so matter of fact about it.
Well, maybe she does show her emotions when he's asking about it. You know, he's saying, here's this anklet. We heard about the anklet they found. Jason turned it in to the police. So you were with them. You know, she's like...
Well, he said, they've been looking for this anklet for 2 years.
Now, that's surprising to me.
And she said she didn't know. And I don't think she did. But they didn't know about that. Because and her reaction was, I thought, was
maybe
really
that
honest.
added to it, though. Yeah.
Because that's what he says. They've been looking for this for 2 years. How did you manage? And you just happened to find it. So I wondered, how did he know that she found it? I don't know. That's just...
And now it seems like he's questioning her. He knows a little more than we think, but it is interesting. They must have had this bracelet. Somehow it disappeared. I mean, they knew about it. At least the police knew about it.
Yeah. Because I wonder if it was on her body.
That's
because,
what you-
Spencer said in the flashback, you say, Allie says she's never going to take it off.
Yeah.
So, they were taking things out of the casket when her body was stolen. So I wonder if they took it. Well, they must have. They must have taken it off
Yeah, they
her
had
body.
to know about this anklet. Now they found
Yeah.
it. So we'll see what develops from this anklet.
Yeah, I want to know whose blood is on it.
I know. Tell me about it.
I don't know. So that brings us to this whole church, this church party. Well, the unexpected thing, because when Spencer took the note out of Garrett's mom's bracelet, they had to replace it with something
Right.
to try to, lure A into, to a meeting. So, because that's what they think that Garrett was doing.
Yes, which I still don't think is very smart.
No, well, Hanna thinks that she's a little indestructible.
It's all about Caleb right now. She's
Yeah.
hurt. She's hurt.
She's, she wants to fight to get her man
Yes.
back.
So-
She's very revengeful right now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it had to be creepy though. She puts the bracelet, or she puts the note into the hospital bracelet, and
Because
then
she forges the new note.
Right.
With a meeting place. Because she's been volunteering at this church every day. She's like, it's empty at night. We'll have them meet us by the organ. Creepy in itself. So she picks a creepy place.
yeah,
And, she slips the note in. And what happens?
Garrett's mom. I mean, it's just like she freaks out, literally. Then ICU, they're called Blue Team ICU, is called to come find out what's going on. Like, what happened all of a sudden?
Yeah. So, they book it out of there. And, Hannah's back at the church and she's, separating the donations into seasons. I liked that.
I know. That was such a Hanna move. Absolutely.
Yeah, what was it? Winter, fall, summer, spring, and resort.
Which was the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
I mean, such a classic little.
I loved it.
But she wants to try to set up A and find out who it is because at this point, Spencer thinks it's Lucas. Or what did Emily say it was Lucas? One of them,
Yeah, they all have their
yeah, I think
their
at this
thoughts,
point, I think
but-
they think that's Lucas. But Hannah's adamant that it's not Lucas.
yes.
That she wants to find out who it is just to see. Because I don't know what her plan of attack was going to be when the church was empty. But when she finds out that there's a party going on, she decides that she and Emily should just go and kind of stake it out.
Hide.
And see.
Wait to see who comes, and then what?
And see who's going to be there. But, before Emily gets to this party, Hanna calls her and tells her that they found the location of where that jacket, of where her
Right.
jacket was donated.
So that's a question. We'll have to find that one out. I'm sure that'll come up, but it's very interesting. The pickup location gives her the address.
Gives her the address, but they were supposed to go look at it together the following day. But Emily went ahead and went over there by herself
Yes.
to see if her memory would get jogged. And she's kind of looking around this corner, and she looks over at this diner, and she has a memory.
It all comes back.
She remembers being there with someone, and when you go to that flashback and you look inside the diner, there is someone sitting at the diner that looks like Ezra with a hat
yeah,
on.
black hat, black jacket, which could also make you think, A dress is in all black. Mm-hmm. You know, so
but this was more like a suit jacket with like a kind of like a fedora type
It's
hat.
true.
But it kind of looked like Ezra, like the profile, and like from a distance, it kind of looked like it could be him.
Especially when, though, she gets closer and you see the little shadow in the toaster right there.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, wait, is that Ezra's profile? That's when I was like, wait a second, that's Ezra.
Because she goes back in, she has breakfast, she's sitting there looking around, and, you know, she looks at her placemat, and it's, you know, one of those game ones where you do like little maze, and she has another memory. And she remembers the waitress telling whoever had her there, you know, that it's time for her to go before she passes out. And she sees this hand, which we see the reflection in the toaster.
Right.
And, or whatever that
Yeah,
thing,
it was like she looks through the toaster, she sees that, and then sees...
And we see the stamp, which we thought was a tattoo at first.
Like, what is that?
Yeah, so it's like an eye. It looked like an eye.
You had it right. It looked like when Holden showed it again.
Uh-huh.
It looked like an eye.
Yeah, but we find out that it's a stamp to this roaming club that changes venues. So now, because like when Holden has the stamp, you know, it was like, oh, okay, here we go. That he's the one that had her. But no, he rubs it off. It's a stamp, and he says it's a roaming venue. So now it can be anybody.
Right, it could be anyone. And thanks to Holden for coming back all of a sudden.
Yeah,
like,
where
he
has
just
he
came out of
been?
nowhere with this stamp that's leading us to something else, and he runs out after Emily's like, "What does that mean? Like, what's it about?" And then he's gone.
Because he said that he had seen some of her friends there. Well, he saw Maya.
Which friend? Yeah, Maya.
He saw Maya at this club. So now this brings in a whole new kind of thing, because if Maya and Holden were there,
Had some connection at least if they're both at this club.
right? So what is this club? This, you know,
Slash any. So we know it was obviously a guy's profile with this little stamp on, and we don't know who that could have been.
Yeah. I thought the same thing, Ezra, but I don't know.
Does Ezra go clubbing at night when
When he-
Aria's like hunting for A?
Yeah. the other question I had was Brandon's character.
Lucas.
Thank you. Yes, Lucas. That was the other possible thought that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because they're all dark headed.
Dark head. Yeah,
I mean,
it could be.
yeah, so it really could be anyone. We know that now. Obviously, a male with brown hair. We got that. Maybe.
Yeah, but Holden he's been a longtime friend of Aria's, right? So it's possible that he could have known Allie, that he, you know, if he's kind of been around kind of casually, and then, you know, there could be some kind of connection there.
Well, there's obviously a connection with Maya, which is very intriguing because, you know, they still don't know what happened to her. So for him to at least have seen her, something's going on. And then he just ran out, though. Emily asked him a question like, wait, you saw Maya, you know, what was she doing? Like, who else was there? Out goes Holden.
And it's like, now I gotta go.
She can't ask him anything else. Yeah.
Did he just drop the cupcake? What did he do? He's like offering her a cupcake, and it's like, oh, I gotta go.
See ya. I'm out. Fun church party and all, but I gotta go.
So let's talk about this church party and the lovely cast of characters that are attending this church party.
Of course, the creepy things would happen in a church. You know, like they got to pull it all in together here. So we've got Ashley Marin going on a date with the pastor. She doesn't know.
Then, she doesn't know is a pastor.
Then the detective comes in and she's freaking out. So she has to leave. The detective is what makes me question things.
I know, because we already know he's not on the up and up.
He is super involved in this case, but in which way, we don't know. Could be many different ways.
Yeah.
He was the one that found Hanna.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he had that note. Of course, he says it was given to him as, like, evidence. But is that the case? What if he went in there and he found that? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, there's obviously something kind of sketchy going on in the police force. You know, somebody knows something or is involved in some way.
Right.
You know, especially with everything going, you know, revolving around Garrett.
That question came up, too. Is someone protecting Garrett? And that's why the evidence is inadmissible now.
Right, because that's what Spencer had said. Because she pulled a list of, what was it, police academy?
Yeah, to see if April
recruits?
Rose was a recruit. But then that just brings up the question. It begs the question, which makes you then think, what about this detective? Because he's there at this party. Maybe
what if he was part of the NAT?
Yeah, you don't know.
No.
It's like... It's interesting.
Could be.
It is
Too many
interesting.
questions.
I know. There's
Always
too
with
many
the show.
things.
Always.
You know, and then, you know, since when Hanna finds out her mom is going to this party, she comes up with this ridiculous lie that Toby's taking her to this dance because there's a volunteer that won't leave her alone. And so now Toby's dragged into this. And I'm sorry, but Toby is just so awkward.
It's just like it's so awkward. It's just pure awkward. Just putting okay. The only one he has not been with now is Aria in some form. Like, and it started out as Emily. Okay, then they're best friends. Now he's with Spencer. Goes to a church party with Hanna. Next, Aria, it's your turn to hang out.
Always like
Toby.
so awkward. Just like, you know what I mean? He's one. I don't know. It's just like when he moves, it's just awkward.
Okay, I agree he's a little awkward, but didn't you feel bad for him
I did.
tonight?
It was an awkward
Yes.
situation for
Yes.
him to be put in.
I mean, I just was like, this is the guy who like wants to be, you know, on the up and up and be honest
No,
and have
he's-
this like good relationship with Spencer, and they just keep putting him in the middle, and I just was like, oh, that's so brutal for you.
No, he definitely is a good sport. He really
Yeah.
is. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I hope. You know.
I know. Watch
Yeah.
me next week be like, he's evil.
Well, we never know. It all comes around. You never
Even
know.
when he's sitting in the house with Spencer and he's like, I'm gonna let you work, but I'm just gonna sit here and look at you type. He just makes this face that's like creepy. I'm sorry, Toby. No, he's
Yeah.
like really like his character is really sweet and really nice, but it's just sometimes he just you know, it was like it was
Little uncomfortable.
It was such an awkward pause, and then they start
yes.
making out. It was just
Oh, but also like just in general, that whole party, the church party tonight.
Yes.
Watching those scenes, like I was like, the director must have been like, make this as awkward as you possibly
Yeah.
can. Like all those interactions were super awkward.
Why do church volunteers all have to be geeky? Come
Weren't
on.
they that guy that just stared at Hanna?
They reminded me of like the geeks that you would see on like Saved by the Bell that were like overly dramatized.
I
I'm like,
know.
come on.
I
We can have
know.
some attractive people volunteer to help out the church.
I completely agree. 100%.
Well, I know Hanna was looking around the whole time. She danced with Toby, looking around the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Finally, her mom is just like, I've got to get out of here.
Yes.
And then Hanna goes into where the organ's supposed to be.
Right, but why does she go by herself? Like
Because
she's
Emily was trying to find Holden at this point.
No, because she told her because
Stand by the door.
she told her to stand by the door, and because she sees that the door to the organ room is open.
Yeah.
So, but she wants to go. Like this. This is the thing. These girls all want to be the one to either find out first, or they've got.
Protect somebody, or I don't know. It's not very smart. They need to kind of stick together in this.
Some
Oh my
creepy
goodness,
room by
no.
myself.
No.
Especially when somebody's just like murdered two of my friends. Like
That's
Yeah,
what I
you
don't understand.
wonder.
They seem fearless in the face of like, if two of your friends were murdered,
Right.
wouldn't you be terrified? And like, I would want to be with people constantly because
right.
who knows who's next? It's like a
Right.
scream
Unless
scenario.
unless there's some kind of weird, protection thing. Let me go. If something happens to me, at least you're safe. It could be that. I don't know.
I think they probably feel they do have the upper hand, though. A wants to get back at them. Mm-hmm. So they're not. A's not going after them yet in the terms of like, let me kill one of you off. I think they're getting the people they care about the most right now.
True.
So they could feel a little protective about that. I don't think they do. They're just like, let's go for it and see what
Or
happens. But
it's just maybe it's one of those, when you're young and you feel invincible
Yeah.
kind of things, you don't even think about it.
it's true.
You
That's
know?
very true.
Could just be that the naiveness that nothing, I
Yeah.
don't know. But she goes into this room that with the instructions of the note that said
Yes.
to meet in this room, and she hears a noise, so she goes and hides in a pew.
But she's like walking around in her heels, then gets down and hides in the pew. Like,
it's like you can't see anything if you're, hiding in a pew.
I
So
know.
then we find out it's Walden.
Yeah.
They came in there looking to see who was in there. Either he followed her in, well, he had the
knew.
note.
He had the note, so he was like, let's see who wrote this note. Mm-hmm. He's doing his little detective work with that, and he finds out
Right.
it's Hanna.
Right.
Now he's even more skeptical of these girls because they're always around where some evidence comes up or something like that.
Right, and of course she's lying and says she
Yeah.
doesn't know anything about it.
But she's hiding under a pew, so he's got to assume that she's hiding from something and trying to find out what's going on.
Right. So she's, gets, and she's, intimidated and scared,
Yeah.
and then she finally makes her way out of that room. And, he just kind of, but she looks back at him and they just have like this kind of stare down.
More
and-
to come from him, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
he's skeptical of them, they're skeptical of him.
Yeah,
They're
he
always
seems so unsavory.
Right.
Just you're like, ooh, what
I
are you
don't know,
gonna do?
but-
What's your next?
Well, he
turn?
has a lot to hold over these girls too. I mean,
Yeah.
he was with Hannah's mom. That's something to hold over them for
But
a long time.
isn't that something that they use to hold over him, or they can use to
I think
hold
it
over
can
him?
go both ways, but
Yeah.
you saw how Hannah's mom reacted to him coming up, and she was like, I've got to get out of here.
Yeah, it makes her very uncomfortable.
Because
so
she was with the pastor who she liked, and he can say so many things.
yeah, she really does like him, and I think that that's so cute because they obviously like each other.
Yeah.
But she has the moment where she just feels like she's not good enough.
I know.
You know, he's a pastor, and she's like, I'm so embarrassed. I need to get out of here. But I like the relationship that Hanna has with her mom
I do
in these
too.
episodes now. After all of the thieving money and like all of that, now they seem to have a good relationship.
Protect
and
each other, hopefully, through it. Yeah.
And I like that she was, trying to talk her mom up and saying, nobody's perfect. It's okay. And
Exactly.
then Walden comes in and kind of breaks down the little confidence that she did get back. And
Oh.
so she just leaves.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I want to know what his whole thing is because he's always at the school. He's always around. And he's really like tagging on to these girls.
He's invested in this. He knows more than we might like him to know, I think, or these girls might like them.
There's
got to
be it. Maybe I'm thinking maybe he's one of the guys on those tapes, that was doing what Ian and Garrett and
it all
were
comes
doing.
full circle with these people. They're all involved somehow. I think they're all interconnected.
Yeah, so maybe
So that's interesting. Yeah.
Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah, we really just
I
don't know.
I don't know.
So many questions.
Well, let's take a quick break and then we will come back and we can discuss it a little further and then get into some news, gossip, and
Yeah,
predictions.
sounds good.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AfterBuzz TV. And why? Because AfterBuzz TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows, like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. I got some strong opinions. And AfterBuzz TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AfterBuzz TV goodness. Check them out. Give them a holler. And tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
It makes me laugh every time I hear it.
It's funny. It's cute.
Okay, so what? Now we've got a whole new range of suspects. I think a little
We
bit.
definitely do.
I still think there's something not quite right with Spencer, but now I don't know. It makes me think a little bit more into Jason.
Right.
How concerned is he really with finding his sister's killer? Is he trying to really find it, or is he trying to cover something up?
Right, because he comes off like he's very invested in this. I mean, he's willing to pay $50,000 to somebody to find out what happened.
Well, he paid $400 for that anklet.
Right.
Without question, just was like handed it over.
Yeah. Where is he getting this money?
That's my other question. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. How does he have all of this
Him
money?
and Ezra, they're like sharing their money and hiding in the sock drawers the whole time.
Yeah.
You're like, it's coming out.
I mean, how does he like? Doesn't he work at like a youth center where he?
Right,
how
which
does
he said. Right.
Yeah. How does he have $400 in his wallet?
I don't know. I just feel like maybe the guy is a Pretty Little Liars, Rosewood. They don't want to use a bank. They're just
maybe
not into
his
it.
dad that he just found out about somehow is trying to keep him quiet and paying him money too. You don't know that because
could
they have
be.
money. They have money.
That's true.
That whole family right now,
Right.
is very questionable.
Yeah, they are. I'm very skeptical about
Yes.
that family. I don't know.
All involved in some degree.
Well, and now Ezra, which is shocking and
Yeah.
exciting at the same time. I like it.
We'll see what happens. won't we?
Yes, we will. Well, we've got a little bit of news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, I mean, it's not like crazy newsy, but so I don't know. I'm sure all of the Pretty Little Liars hardcore fans know that Shay Mitchell's name is not really Shay. that her name. Did you know? Do you know what her name actually is?
Tell us.
Her name was actually Shannon. She was born Shannon Mitchell. So she just thought Shay was a cool name. And she wanted to change it. She explained to OK Magazine that she came up with her new name while she was a teen working as a hostess at a sports bar. In Vancouver.
Hey, of all places, there you go.
She said she would get uncomfortable saying her real name to like all these different people. So she wanted a barrier. So she just made up a new name.
I wonder if she actually like legally has changed it or she just is going with it.
It could just be her stage name because, but she said she just wanted to start going by Shay. So I'm not quite sure if she actually changed it legally or if it's just her stage name that she uses for acting. But
I think it's cute. I love it.
It flows. It definitely flows.
Yeah, it's definitely
a lot
really
of people
cute
do
name.
that too, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the changing your names at all.
Absolutely not.
So a lot of people are saying that we're going to get a lot of spoilers in this season. That we're going to get questions answered in this season. Like 2 main questions should be answered in this season. It was. They're saying that the summer finale answers 2 big questions. Marlene tweeted in response to a fan asking if we're ever going to get any of these questions answered, and they're saying the season 2 finale is definitely going to give a little bit more of like what the story is behind Allie and kind of what happened with Maya and all that. So we should get some really exciting news.
That's good to know
from this season.
Because we remember last week, Tammin and Brendan, they both told us they figure someone will have to die.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions, that they knew and couldn't share with us, but it's good to know that something's going to come out of this.
Yeah. Well, there's something here that, we're going to see maybe Maya dies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of a spoiler that came out. We'll see how, if that really happens. But, we saw in the preview for the next episode that she takes, she escapes the mental institution and takes off in the car. So maybe she gets into an accident.
Mona, yeah. You said Maya.
Oh,
We got
I'm sorry.
it. No, that makes sense.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yes.
We've
We've already lost Maya.
Yes.
We've already lost her once.
It could be. So people were just kind of like tweeting what they thought was going to happen. And that could be something.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I'd like to see kind of her. I'm still
what
thinking
happens with her.
that this psychiatrist is kind of the ringleader of this.
Well, she knew a lot.
I know. I'm still thinking that she has something to do with it.
She'll be back, I'm sure. I mean, we saw Holden this time. We'll see who comes back in the rest of these episodes.
So, maybe, we'll see. But it looks like the next A person is definitely a guy. So.
Right, because if you heard on the preview for next week, she said, I'm not A. Did you hear that? And they were like, who is? And she wouldn't tell. She escaped with the car, and there she went.
Oh, so let's get into predictions and see what we
Why not? Oh, the best
And now,
part.
your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
So a lot going on. So what
Yes.
do you think is going to happen?
Oh, my goodness. Well, just by seeing the preview for next week, they're going to get some answers questioned by Mona because she obviously spoke to them. And she said she was an A. So they're going to everything's going to open up. I think a lot of people are involved. It's so hard to pinpoint. Because I'm still like, Spencer's got something going on. Now it's Ezra, who I don't want anything to be involved there. Lucas has always been a suspect for me. I can't even tell you. I predict them all. They're all involved in this in some way.
Well, we saw, too, at the end of this episode that A is looking for a room to rent. Well,
That's going to be interesting.
At least one of the A people. Is it the main ringleader of A that we always see at the end of these episodes? And it has, like, the team is everyone that does all the dirty work.
Yeah, I don't know about like what's gonna happen next week, but I'm excited to see Ezra kind of what I think is gonna go down a darker path than we've seen his character before go on. And also, I had this moment when he was when A was circling the room at the end of the episode. He was talking about how he can't afford all this stuff, and I was like, is he looking to move out of his place?
I thought the same thing too, actually. Because remember, he said that, he was just, looking for jobs at webzines and like all of this, that he'd been looking in the paper for stuff. I thought the same thing at the end of that
Guys,
episode.
I did not even connect that. Thank you. See? We need each other here. We need each other.
Yes. So, I mean, with this show, you have to be skeptical of everyone.
Yes, you really do.
It's so good. That's why I get all the names all twisted. I'm really, really sorry, you guys.
That's why we want your comments. You tell us what you think. It'll help AfterBuzz.
Yes, I think I agree with you. I think Ezra is maybe a little bit darker than we think he is.
Oh, intriguing.
Yes.
It's going to be good.
But thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes,
We love Pretty Little Liars and can't wait to see what happens next. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV, and you can follow me at Kellie with an IE 079.
And you can follow me at Stephanie Wenger on Twitter.
And I'm at Whitney Lane 1118.
And make sure to go to AfterBuzzTV.com and shop on Amazon. Go to iTunes, download us, rate and comment, and join in. Let us know what you think about all of
We
this.
want to hear from you. We love it.
We love your feedback, so we are excited to hear it.
And we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.